So this video goes out to GG, which sometimes your name shows up as GVR. You have been a day one subscriber. You Galactic Bays. You guys have been so supportive of my channel. Thank you to all my subscribers for the support that you guys have been showing me. It's insane that I have 11 subscribers at the time of this recording, but I have like 50 views, 60 views. That is not me, that is completely you guys. You guys deserve all that credit, and I'm genuinely mind blown by that support. So I wanted to do this for you, GG, because you asked me about Hell Scythe, and this is like right next to, I love Scythe blades, Death Scyther, Hollow Death Scyther, Hollow Ragnarok, right? Unicorn Sting, anything that's Scythe like I love. So Scythe, let's talk about it real quick and make this video fairly short so that you guys get a lot of combos and information in one video. First off, we're going to go over the profile of Scythe. It is fairly rounded while squared, so it actually has pretty good stamina because all the weight's on the outside. It has high recoil, however, because it's missing metal, and so when it does get hit, rather than absorbing it fully into all the metal, because there's holes and because it's a little bit hollow, not that it's the lightest blade by, it's not rhino horn, but it is a little bit on the light side. So even though it has pretty decent stamina, it has very high recoil, which some of these we're going to utilize. So the first setup that you can do is a stamina setup. You want to be hyper specialized in Beyblade X with a lot of the original bays. If you're going for attack, go for attack. Don't go for attack hybrid. Unless, it's with one of the newer blades. A lot of these OG blades will need to be hyper specialized. Now, if you're going to go stamina, there's two ways to do it. Number one is 460, and yes, 460 over 560. The 5 ratchets do burst pretty often. They're very, very weak burst resistance, and they burst more than 4. I don't care what anyone says. They burst more than 4. I use 5 ratchets. They burst more than 4, and I'm not the only one that says that. But if you're going to go stamina, there's two options. If you use 460 in ball, this will work. However, when it tilts, understand you will be scraping more towards this than here, which is why I prefer, if you're going to bother using ball for stamina, you would want to use the 480 variant and ball, because A, you're already expecting to burst, right? Let's be honest here. Where you're playing stamina, we need to lean into that. So we need to get good at evasive launching, and then we're going to stall out, etc. with this, which is 480 ball. And the reason is because when we lean with the extra height, we tend to land on this slant, which kicks us back up. And whereas this one tends to scrape, this one kicks us back up and helps conserve stamina. Remember, if we're going stamina, we're going all the way. The next way that you can use this technically is as a low dirty attacker. For attacker, the setup that I like, and this is also partially aesthetically pleasing, which is just the red and green, kind of like a little bit of a Christmas tree, which is flat on 460 and Hell Scythe. We do have this insane upper, which is utilized somewhat when we tilt over and they hit us and it helps correct us. But on an attacker, this seems to work the best, and I've used this upper a lot. As an attacker, we actually with this get a little bit of extra stamina versus a low flat setup, which we're going to get into in a second. And all of our weight with our ratchet is distributed actually to our attack points. It's pretty evenly distributed and lined up with the scythes, which help us as we rotate right to scoop up opponents and fling them out. So that is one way to run it as an attacker, and it is the de facto way. It is actually the easiest way to learn how to do tricks, etc. with Scythe. However, if you're using a winder launcher and you're ready to go right now, you can, and you do utilize recoil with this, I want to point that out, but more so with this is 360 in low flat. This, if you are using a winder launcher and you know how to launch perfectly flat and grip up, this will accelerate so fast, and with the amount of recoil on upper, with low flat, you're actually getting under your opponent's bay and just lifting them up and out of the ring. And because you have a lot of traction, you're actually putting that recoil back in from the stadium, it's springing back up out of the blade. Because when you don't have enough metal on the blade, I should explain this, some of that recoil gets put into the ratchet and bit. However, when you have a very flat bit or a bit that's good at putting recoil back up into the blade, it shoves that recoil back into the opponent's blade. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this kind of stuff, and I think that it's actually really needed to understand why you do your combo the way you do. Because for the next one, and this is more of a higher skill ceiling, so don't use this unless you're really good with defense types, but this is something that I have been using for a long time, and it's much easier to burst than 4, especially on this blade profile, but I will say 560 and needle is an absolute gem. This is great because needle lets us go full tilt. 560 does somewhat kick up even from a 60 height because of the slope, kick us back up when we get hit and help us to stand up. My needle is actually slightly flat. If this wants to focus. I don't know if you can see it. My needle is slightly flat because I use this a lot. So once needle starts to get flat, especially and a bit deformed, it starts just shoving with this specific blade shape things out the ring. It's amazing, it's great, but it takes a lot of skill to learn where to launch it and how to get it around the stadium, because typically needle doesn't land the same as these next few defensive bits. Now that's 560 needle. The next one, the second to last one that we're going to be going over, again, hyper specialized for defense, is a slight stamina build, but we're using Hexa and 360. Why 360 and Hexa? Because it's actually shorter than the final, and even on, by the way, if you're using like 460 and ball, this is lower. So you're getting more defense usage of your upper. However, Hexa doesn't, until it's been hit, it doesn't engage upper. Hexa tends to wobble. And so you do have to be careful, which is why we don't run 460, because the wobble of Hexa can expose the 460 and especially a 560 ratchet. You don't want to use those. You want 360. It's just a reality. It does tend to expose, I notice, and burst. But this does give you stamina, and it does let you utilize upper. Last but not least, and this needs to be a worn dot, but we have 370 dot, or you could use 360 dot. I prefer 370 because I like, again, utilizing upper and having a strong tilt, and the kickback of 3 and 5 have very good kick up. Very. Now, Blade Crashers, shout out to Jeremy and Troy, they're amazing. Blade Crashers actually use this, my dot combo. You can use 460 as well on this dot. You can. I like 370 though, because it's an odd number, gives it a slight imbalance, and that when the dot is worn, it actually has a tendency to put more of that. It helps it grip the stadium, be a little bit more mobile, and then on top of that, it helps it have extra traction to put more recoil into my opponent's bay and send them flying. And Jeremy on Blade Crashers was just, launching phoenix wings at this thing and drawn swords, and it was knocking them out and just beating the snot out of them. So it really takes a lot. This is the best combo, in my opinion, if you're going to use Hell Scythe. But needle is equal. Needle just requires a little more skill. So if you've been using needle and it's a little flat and you're familiar with it, go needle. If you want a dirty, quick, easy combo, 360 or 370. If you're really good at launching right to get it into specific places to avoid your opponent's attack type and let them waste stamina, especially Shark Edge, then run dot. But yeah, thanks again to all of you who have supported this channel and who are subscribed and are supporting. If you guys have anything that you want to see from Beyblade X, or Burst or Metal Fight, you will have to give me a minute to actually buy those bays. I'm buying Metal Fight bays now. I'm buying them, and I'm having them actually because I got a sponsor from my tournament, so they're actually going to be sending me Metal Fight bays to both get into Metal Fight competitive and also kind of represent them when I go to local tournaments. So I've fallen in love with Metal Fight, so I will be reviewing some of those. But if there's anything from Beyblade X or Metal Fight that you guys see me open, or maybe you want something from X that you need a combo for, let me know. I've done a lot of competitive testing. I play a lot of competitive, and I spend hours. My friends and family, my own wife will tell you that I spend infinite amount of time practicing my techniques. And so if there's, I've tried just about every combo. If you want to know like what I use a blade for and what my combos are, let me know. Let me know down below in the description. And thank you guys so much for the support. It means the world to me. Every like, every comment, every subscriber, every view just means the world to me that you guys share in this hobby with me and share in my passion. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.